Hi, John Hanford from Fine and Country, Leamington. Just put a quick video together to show you the process of adding a post appraisal to BATE. So this is assuming that you've already added an appraisal, a pre-appraisal, you've been out and conducted the valuation appointment, and now this is the process of what you do once you get back to the office. So we're going to look at the one that was specifically just put on there, number 5 Williams Road. You can see that this is currently an appointment, and what we're going to do is create an appraisal. So you've got this amber tab over on the right hand side. If we click that, it will say, are you sure? Because it will take it purely from just being an appointment now to a market appraisal, which will change the nurture journey in which the customer receives. So now we click create appraisal. So it'll go back and confirm the information. First of all, valuation info took place on the 13th. It was for sales. Again, if you change it to lettings, it will be a lettings nurture journey rather than a sales one. The property type is a house, it's semi-detached. The name of the valuer, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, reception rooms. Again, this is all key data which might have a bearing as to what content they see in the future. So it's important that you get it right. We need to put in the valuation. In this instance, I'm going to put in a minimum valuation. I'm going to put what we think the market value is, and then I'm also going to put the max valuation. Now, you don't have to do a minimum and a maximum. You can just go straight in with the market value, but I'm going to put all 3 figures to show you. We want to put the fee inclusive of VAT, which will be 3%. Now, in an instance where you haven't discussed fees with the customer and you don't want to send anything in writing, you can actually just click this button here and it won't display it on the presentation. Down at the bottom, you get the opportunity to upload a specific property photo, which is something that you should be taking on every single valuation appointment. So in this instance, I'm going to click Williams Road. This is a house that we sold on the street a few years back, so I've got an image ready to rock and roll, which we can use. I'll wait for that to upload. And then once that's done, I can then go across to the second primary tab at the top here, just to check that all of the homeowner contact information is correct. As I've said before, and I'll reiterate, if there are 2 owners, it is essential that you add both of the owners, because otherwise they won't both be in the nurture journey and will actually only be touching one of the 2 vendors. So if there is a second property owner, make sure you've got their details. The name isn't enough. It is the email address that's the most important thing, because that will be what we'll be able to marry up all of their data with. So assuming that all of that information is correct, then we look at the frequently asked questions, marketing plan and overview. So this will base the crux of the presentation. Now, if there is a frequently asked question that you feel isn't relevant for this vendor, say for instance you had a big discussion about the for sale sign and you know that they're not going to want one, then you can actually remove that frequently asked question from the list that the customer will see. So I'll tick that and you can see that that's now gone. Then below that, this is the important part. This is the marketing plan. Now, before on Vibra, we had 2 sections. We had the post appraisal or the market appraisal, and then the bespoke marketing plan. Those 2 documents are now merged back into one field. And because I can't change the colour to red for the bits that you need to edit, what I've done, anything that's really should be edited by you is now in italic. So make sure you go through and make any of the necessary changes. So the introduction you'll see is pretty much the same as it was before, discrete marketing, full campaign. Then we look at the market appraisal and the property size. So in this instance, we're going to say that there was an EPC already and that the square foot was 2,452. I then changed that so that it's no longer italic. Property ground, we're going to say that we've checked the title in this instance and that we believe it was 1.5 acres. And again, I'm going to take that away from italic. Next, we can talk about the most relevant comparable, which in this instance I'll put 3 Williams Road, Leamington Spa. and that's sold for 400,000, for instance. And again, I can quote the square footage and say that it's similar. That was 2,500 foot square. Perfect. And if you've got other comparables, add those in. So in terms of the pricing strategy, now it depends. If you have entered the fields as I have, where I've put 390, 400 and 410, you could probably delete this completely. If, however, there's some extra commentary that you want to add around the pricing strategy, it might be appropriate to add it in. But in this instance, I'm going to take it out because I'm just going to use the Iceberg digital version. In terms of the moving costs, again, it depends if you've had the discussion about fees or not. Assuming that you have and that they know what they're going to be paying, you might just want to leave all of the standard stuff in there so that they're crystal clear upon that. So I can again change that so that it's no longer italic. You can leave all of the personal service information in. And then we go down to the bespoke marketing strategy. Now, for my presentation, I want to include conveyancing, photography, Royal Institute, professional journalist interview, the property brochure. The A3 is probably a little bit elaborate for a 4-bedroom semi, so I'm going to take that out. I actually want to do a ground and a drone video because it's got fields at the back and it's got a nice big view. So I'm going to tick these out and be able to get some good elevated footage. And in terms of the EPC, I know that there's one in place. So I'm going to delete the other 2 lines and I'm going to leave the information that says that we're going to use the one that's on the EPC register. I missed this as well, so I need to make sure that that's no longer italic. So postcard, not really appropriate for this property, so I'm going to delete that. Office network, so the local office will be Leamington Spa. So I'm going to unitalic this, and then I'm going to delete the Droitwich and the Leamington offices so that it's relevant. Next, I'm going to look exclusive homes worldwide, and collection magazine probably isn't appropriate, but I'm going to do Live 24/7 because I want to do a full page. In this instance, national newspapers probably aren't relevant, so I'm going to take those out. I did talk to them about a launch event, so I want to include that within my post appraisal, and then that's everything. So that's now my post appraisal presentation done. I can then scroll back up to the top if I wanted to check the owner's history, which I don't need to in this instance. Just check the overview to make sure that that text is correct. I'm going to click Save Changes. Please wait. This is all updated. So now I can click Save Changes, assuming that everything's all back in and in place. I'm just going to have a quick look on owner history. And I believe it should probably show that I'd opened up the pre-appraisal, but it might take a second or two for this to flag up. So it hasn't clicked that, but it has shown that the email's been sent. And one thing that I've just noticed is it's got John Fan Hanford. So I might need to go in. Oh, actually, no, that's my account rather than the actual customers, so don't worry about that. So coming back to market appraisals, if I then go back to this screen here on the left hand side, it will show me the 5 Williams Road one, and you can see mail sent, SMS sent, or mail status not delivered. So now I want to get this sent out, which means that I need to click so I go back into here, and what I can do now is I can actually test the view of it. So if I go back to valuation info, I can now do site status, which is this button here, and I can click web view, and this will take me through and show me exactly what the customer will see when we send that link through. Obviously there is a typo there, but we will get that changed. I've got the picture which I've uploaded. It shows where the property is. in conjunction to Google Maps. It says how many bedrooms, bathrooms, receptions, obviously earmarks it with a valuation date, gives a brief introduction saying thank you very much. It also talks about if people want to proceed, they can click. And then it says marketing plan. It talks about the market appraisal, talks about the bespoke marketing strategy, talks about presentation, exposure, and then also the service. At the bottom, it's got a list of frequently asked questions. It's got the fee because I asked for that to be included. It's got contact information for the office, and then also instructors. Now, if the customer clicks any of these links and they ask for an answer on any of these questions, it means that it will feed back to you and you'll know exactly what's happening. And that'll be pretty much instantaneous within about 10 minutes. Now, the one thing that I would say, if you get this link sent out, don't you click the links yourself. Always look at what's happening by tracking the software through Bait, because otherwise Bait might think that you're actually the customer. Obviously, that's not going to be great. I hope this all makes sense. It's pretty straightforward. The thing that I would recommend that you need to do is you need to add yourself as a valuation. Go through the process, see how it works, and then you'll be much more comfortable with the system. So coming back to the screen, assuming that we're happy with everything and I've just tested it, I can then go to actions. I can then send mail. Let's say you're sure you want to send it, click send mail, and then that'll be out in the ether, and it'll hopefully be sent through. Confirm here. So if I go back to market appraisals now, and if I look at the history, it's saying not delivered at the minute. But then if I go into my emails and send and receive, you might get it in time. Perfect. And I'll click this. And it will say view your market appraisal here, so it will register that it sent it, but until I actually click this here, it won't feed back. As soon as I click view market appraisal here, it will open it up, and now all of a sudden I've taken another step in the nurture journey, and any contact here, look, you can see I've automatically had a notification to say Jonathan Hanford is active, and he's looking at the post appraisal that's been sent through, so real-time data as to what your customers and clients are looking at. So I hope this all makes sense. I'm sure you'll see the value in it. It'll hopefully win us more instructions. And there is a distinct possibility, because we've had this already, that people upon receiving this just click instruct at the bottom, and that can come at any time in the evening or at the weekend, and then automatically you can do a DocuSign and send it through, and you're a step closer to getting another sale. Thanks for watching, and happy selling.